Hello folks, this is Jeff Phillips with SmokingMeat.com, and today we're going to be smoking up a Thanksgiving turkey. I've got an 11 pounder. We're cooking it in the Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi pellet smoker. It's a pellet smoker I really enjoy using. You can do this on any other type of smoker depending on what you have, as long as you maintain the proper temperature. Thanksgiving is one of the biggest smoking days of the year, and I know that a lot of people are concerned about getting that turkey just right for their family and their guests. And I'm gonna walk you through every step of this process, from brining to seasoning to smoking to finishing up and serving it at the table. I'm looking forward to cooking this turkey today, and so let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is make up our brine here, so we can get our turkey in there and get it brining overnight. So I've got 1 gallon of water here, and I've already measured out 1 cup of kosher salt. This is coarse kosher salt. I use the Morton's brand. It's in a blue box. I'll use the same kind all the time. That way it's always consistent. So basically I'm just going to pour this in to my 1 gallon of water and stir this around until it dissolves. One of the reasons I like to use kosher salt is because it dissolves really quickly and more easily than, say, sea salt or some other coarse type of salt. You can also use table salt if you want to, but it measures differently, so you would have to do some research and see what the conversions are. Just going to stir this for about a minute or so, and I'll show you the effect once it returns to clear. Okay, that's much better. Now I also have a cup of brown sugar. If you're on a low sugar diet, you do not have to add the brown sugar. I feel like it adds a little more flavor, but it is definitely optional. So I'm just gonna kind of dump that in. Now brown sugar dissolves really quickly, so I'm just going to give this a little basic stir. Now my brining container is 1 gallon, and I'm not sure that 1 gallon will cover that turkey there, so we'll see. I may have to quickly make up another batch. There you go. That's all you need for the brown sugar. So we got our turkey right here, and got our brining container. I'm using just a water cooler today. You can use a 5-gallon bucket. You can use, there's any number of containers you can use as long as it's food grade. This has been injected with some of the broth, I believe. But I still like to brine turkeys even if they're already pre-injected at the factory. Now I'm just going to drop this right down into my brining container. We're going to pour our brine right over the top. Let's see how far this gets us. I'm going to have to make another gallon. I can see that right now. Maybe another couple gallons. I'm going to make a couple more gallons of brine and cover it up, and then I'll show you what it looks like after that. We ended up adding another 1.5 gallons of the brine to our brining container here, right over the top of the turkey, and that covered it. As you can see, the turkey is trying to float a little bit, which it will do. And there's several things you can do. Some people just put a plate on top of it, or I will sometimes fill a gallon Ziploc full of ice and place it right on top, and that'll keep it submerged. One thing we need to think about is we need to keep this turkey very cold. We need to keep it at 40 degrees or below. A good thing to do would be to get a bag of ice, a couple of bags of ice, and pour it in here. That will immediately keep the container cold, keep the water cold, keep the turkey at a safe temperature. And that's probably what I'll end up doing. You can also set this in the fridge. If you have a garage fridge like I do, you can take out the bottom couple of shelves and sit this in the very bottom of the fridge, and that'll be fine. For now, I'm just going to set the ice right on top of the turkey to keep it submerged, and just put the lid on it just like that, and I'll be sticking this in the fridge. Now tomorrow when we get up, we will pull this turkey out of the brine. We'll season it up. We'll do a few things to it, and then it'll be ready for the smoker. We just pulled the turkey out of the brine this morning and gave it a good rinse under the cold water. And now we're going to season it up and get it ready for the smoker. Today I'm going to keep it real basic. I'm going to simply place a stick of butter inside the cavity, and I'm going to be using my Texas style rub on the outside of the skin. This is a basic salt and pepper rub with some other ingredients. No sugar involved, and the salt is quite low. You could also, if you wanted to, I've used this many times. This is the Jeff's original rub, which does have sugar, and you're going to get a little more bark on the outside of the turkey with that. You can find both of these rubs at thinbluefoods.com if you're interested, and I'll place a link up above for those. So today, first thing I'm going to do is use my Texas style rub, and I'm just going to be real generous with it all over the top, sides. The turkey is still a little wet from rinsing it off from the brine, and so I'm not adding any kind of a binder to help the rub to stick. I'm just gonna kind of let the moisture that's already there do its job. Now I'm pulling these wings out so I can get some where that needs to go. Now I'm going to tilt this thing up on its side here. Give it a good dousing. I want some of that under the wing as well. And then we'll flip this over in a minute and get the very bottom. I'm just trying to get a good generous amount of rub all over, bottom of the legs, bottom of the wings, bottom of the breast, and even some down into the cavity there. What that'll do, that'll mix with that butter as it melts. And you know, while I've got that up there, it'll be a good time just to place that butter in there. Just let him drop right in down in there. And we're going to be cooking this breast side down today. Okay, just giving this another good sprinkling, make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm wanting to transfer this to my pan with a rack that I have right back here. Now this is a stainless steel pan. Comes with a rack. I believe these come as a set from Amazon, and I'll put the link up above for that. I love these things. It allows you to cook meat in your smoker, and because this rack holds it up off the bottom of the pan, smoke is able to get under, around, to the sides, the top, and it keeps your smoker cleaner. And I take it a step further by wrapping the pan part of it in foil, so that it really aids in cleanup. So I'm going to simply move this turkey right over to that, and that's all I have to do. So now I can just carry this pan out to the smoker, and when it's done, I can bring it right back in on the same pan. It just makes it really easy to transport whatever you're cooking. We're going to go get the smoker going, and we'll meet you out there. I am using the Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi today. It is a pellet smoker, and it's one I really enjoy using. As you can see, I've removed the top grates here so my turkey will fit better. You can use any smoker to cook this turkey. You can use electric, gas, charcoal, wood. The main thing is that you maintain between 225 and 240. And 11 to 12 pound turkey is going to take around 6 hours. I do have the Woodwind set to high smoke, which will maintain an average of about 220 degrees throughout the smoke. We'll just keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you guys informed on what we're doing, and we're going to turn out a good turkey today. We'll see you back here in a little bit. So the turkey's been smoking for about 4 hours. I'm melting some butter here in this in my little sauce pot, and I'm wanting to brush some of this on the outside of the turkey and make sure that this will give the skin some really good moisture. It will also give it some good color. I'm going to actually mix about 2 tablespoons of my rub in with this, and I'll put the recipe down below. It's just a stick of butter, 2 tablespoons of Jeff's original rub, and that looks good right there. Right here, I've got some of my Jeff's original rub. I'm not even going to bother measuring. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons approximately. Stir that in. And this is going to give the turkey some color. It's going to moisturize the skin. So I'll meet you guys out at the smoker and we will get some of this brushed on. It's looking good. Got plenty of smoke coming out here. I'm just going to dab some of this on. I'm not going to brush it real hard because I don't want to mess up that rub coating that I've got going on. When you're cooking a turkey, presentation is a big deal. You want it to taste good, but you also want it to look good. People eat with their eyes first. Anytime you're doing something like this, if it starts to look dry or anything like that, you can always use some melted butter, make it look a little nicer, and it always adds a little flavor as well. That looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and check the temperature right here and we're looking at about 140. That's what I would expect for about 4 hours worth of cooking. We're probably looking at around 6 hours total for this turkey. So we'll come back and check it in another hour and see how it looks and kind of go from there. 62 in the breast. About 160 right there. We're going to go ahead and get this thing in the house so we can do a little taste test. Exciting. As you can see, I've kind of tinted some foil over the top of this turkey to let it rest for about 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to remove that, and that just lets the juices kind of settle down a little bit and redistribute throughout the turkey. It also is a time when the turkey will continue cooking, and we removed it at about 162. During this time, it'll go ahead and usually come up another 2 or 3 degrees. So we're at that 165. I mean, we got juice inside of that thing. We got butter inside of that thing. Look at that. This thing can't help but be juicy. I'm just going to cut a little piece here off this breast. It's kind of, oh wow, you guys are not going to believe this. Look at that. That's crazy how juicy that is. I'm going to put this on a cutting board here. It's hard to cut on that paper plate. I'm just going to cut this up some. All right. Moment of truth. That is very good. It's extremely juicy. I can taste the smoke. I can taste the salt from the brine. That's just amazing. Guys, that is so good. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today as I cooked up this 11-pound turkey on the Camp Chef Woodland Wi-Fi. If you have any questions about this, you can post those down below in the comments section. And once again, this is Jeff Phillips with SmokingMeat.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video.